Hello viewers, you're welcome to the Smart Student Academy. This is your channel if you are a student aiming at scoring straight A's in your final examination. It is the arena for champions who will settle for nothing less than pure academic excellence. Please come with us as we show you the strategies you need to achieve your academic ambitions. Today's discussion is centered on mastering answer presentation number 2. This topic is a guide and motivator. It will help you to understand best ways to present your answers to obtain full marks from the examiner. This is essential to obtain an A grade in your final examinations. Hit the subscribe button and let's go straight on to the point. What is mastering answer presentation? Mastering answer presentation means writing your exam answers clearly, correctly, and completely in a way that makes it easy for the examiner to understand and award you marks. That is it. It involves understanding the question, responding according to what is required, and organizing your answers logically and neatly. Even if you know the right answer, poor presentation can make you lose marks. Now, understand the question first and know the instruction keywords. Every question contains instructional keywords that tell you what to do. If you misunderstand them, you may give the wrong type of answers and so lose valuable marks. Here are some common instruction words and what they mean. Now, the approach I want to use is to show you the keywords, the meaning, and the example. Number 1, lists. What does it mean? Write items one after another without any explanation. Example: list 4 organs of the digestive system. Your response will be 1, mouth, 2, esophagus, 3, stomach, and 4, intestine. That's all. Number 2 keyword, state, which means mention facts briefly and clearly. Here is an example. State Newton's first law. And your response will be: a body remains in a state of rest or of constant motion until an external force acts on it to behave otherwise. Explain. That's the next key word. Meaning, give a clear and detailed account. So, the example will be: explain photosynthesis. This is the process by which green plants make their food using sunlight, blah, blah, blah. Describe. Meaning, give details about how something looks or happens. An example is: describe how blood circulates in the body. This will require you to draw a simple circulatory diagrams of the movements of blood around the body, and then back it up with the explanation. Compare. What does that mean? Show similarities and differences. E.g., compare mitosis and meiosis. So this requires you to explain what things are similar between meiosis and meiosis, and then what are the differences between them as well. Discuss. Examine all sides of a topic and give your opinion. Discuss the effects of climate change. So, you explain what climate change is. You look at the positive side of climate change, if at all it has any. Then you look at the negative sides, and then You offer your opinion about the situation. Next, define. Give the exact meaning of a term. For example, define democracy. It's a system of government by the people and for the people. Now let's move on and look at some tips. Underline or circle keywords in exam question before you start answering. This will draw your attention to all that is required of you. But if you just start a question without underlining the keywords, chances are that the first keyword you encounter in that question, you will answer, forgetting other that are embedded or hidden inside the question. So it is better when you pick a question before you start answering, read through it, all the keywords, list and explain, then justify. So you underline or circle those words. List, you circle. Explain, you circle. Justify, you circle before you start. So that you know that you are asked to do 3 things there. First of all, you make a list. Then you go and explain. But if you just rush and start listing, if you are lucky, you remember to explain. At the end of the day, you might have forgotten you were asked to justify something there. So leaving a chunky part of the question undone, this will lead to serious loss of mark. Now let's look at presenting answers for maximum marks. How do you do that? Number 1, use clear numbered points or paragraphs. For lists or state questions, use numbers or bullets. For example, list 3 types of rocks. Simply write 1, igneous rock, 2, sedimentary rock, 3, metamorphic rock. You are done. That is under a minute. Number 2 point to understand in presenting your answer for maximum mark is follow the required format. If the question says explain, write full sentences, not just points. For example, explain how plants make their own food. Your answer will be, plants make their own food through a process called photosynthesis. During this process, chlorophyll in leaves traps sunlight energy to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. And that is it. Very simple and straightforward. Number 3, use headings and subheadings where necessary. This is especially important in long answers. Breaking your work into sentences or sections, rather, improves clarity. Number 4, support answers with examples. So always endeavor to give examples where possible in support of your argument. For example, an omnivore is an animal that eats both plants and animals, such as bear or a human being. Those are good examples. Number 5, underline or highlight key terms. This helps the examiner spot important point easily in order to award you mark. Example, the executive arm of government enforces laws. You can see it underlined. That's drawing the attention of the examiner to that statement. Number 6, where appropriate, play back the statement used by the examiner in the questions. What do I mean by this? For example, a question may say, what are the 4 factors of production? How do you play back this statement in the answer? You do this by saying, the 4 factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Don't just go ahead and just write land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. No. It says, what are the four factors of production? And you answer plain by the sentence used by the examiner in the question is for you to say the four factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. I can assure you, applying this method, you can never miss the road. Trust me. Example 2. Question. State two differences between plants and animal cells. How do you play back this question? You go thus. Two differences between plants and animal cells are: 1. Plant cells have cellulose cell wall, but animal cells do not have. 2. Plant cells have chloroplasts. Animal cells do not have chloroplasts. Now let's look at writing style that help examiners award marks easily. Number 1, be neat and legible. Write clearly to avoid confusion. If your handwriting is not readable, there is nothing the examiner can do, even though your answer is correct. Since he cannot read it, you have lost the mark. So take your time. Let your handwriting be clear, legible, and readable. 2, stick to the point. Don't write stories or go offhand. Don't try to impress anybody with big grammar. Nobody wants that. It won't attract mark. Do what you are asked to do and leave there. Number 3, avoid ambiguous phrases. Phrases that have multiple meaning or dual meaning. No, don't use them. Instead, be direct and clear. Very important. Furthermore, use correct grammar and punctuation. This shows that you are serious and help you not to be misunderstood. Leave space between answers. This helps you organize your work and makes it easy to read. Now let's look at common mistakes to avoid in presenting your answer during examinations. The approach I want to use now is to mention the mistake first and then tell you why it is a problem. Let's go. Mistake number 1, writing too much or too little. This is a problem because you may waste time or miss key points in the process. Mistake number 2, ignoring question instructions. This can be a problem because you may give the wrong type of answer. Mistake number 3, poor handwriting. Examiners cannot mark what they cannot read. They are not magicians. Once they cannot read, you have lost the mark. They will just jump that session and continue. I think you are now seeing why students make poor grades. At times, if you look at the script of some students with bad handwriting, they deserve to make A, but most of what they wrote, the examiner couldn't read. And that is what is responsible for their failure or poor performance. Another problem, repeating the same point several times. Do you know that the problem is that there are no extra marks for repetition? If you say it 10 times, and the mark to be awarded should be awarded once, just 1 mark. All those other 9 times you are writing, you are wasting your ink, you are wasting your time. So, make a point once, don't repeat yourself. Another problem, giving example without explanation or vice versa. That is, giving example without explanation or explanation without example. Both are needed for full marks. What I mean is that for you to get your full mark to a question, whenever you give example, explain it. Or whenever you explain a concept or a phenomenon, give example to back it up. That will make the examiner have confidence that yes, this candidate knows what he or she is doing. Now, before we conclude, please hit the subscribe and like buttons and share the link with your friends and students like you. Be your brother's keeper. Be free to explore this channel further for other academic talks like this. There are so many of them here, and new ones are being uploaded every day. Now, here is my final tips to you. 1. Practice with past questions. This will help you get used to different question formats. Time yourself during practice. That you must learn to manage time wisely. You know that examinations have time limit. Some go for 2 hours, some 1.5 hours. So when you use past question, you must time yourself within that hour allocated, or else you will think you know it by spending 3 hours instead of 1 hour, and then when you now face the real exam, because you practice with 3 hours, by the end of 1 hour you are just halfway through. What can you do? The performance or result will be poor. So try to practice with time. You time yourself so that you know how fast you should do or write in order to earn your full mark. Furthermore, review your work before submitting. Check for missing points, grammatical error, spelling error, and correct them before you submit. Some students are so naive. As soon as they finish the exam or writing questions or writing answer to the question, they just simply go and submit. That's dangerous. When you finish, take like the last 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes. From the beginning to the end, read through what you have written. At times, your hand is faster or your brain is faster than your hand. You will think of writing something, but you didn't actually write it. You will see the loophole by looking at your script again. Then you can quickly slot it in. You wanted to say go, you said come or gone. That's the wrong, grammar. You correct it. You wanted to give a list to under a point. You even left the space there because you couldn't remember the list or the examples under the list. By the time you go through again, now that your brain is refreshed, you can remember those lists and put it under. All these are very, very important. Then, lastly here, think like an examiner. The question you will ask yourself, if you were the one marking, what kind of answer will earn full marks to you? If you respond properly to this kind of question, then you will know that, yes, you need to present your answers properly. Another question may be, if you are the examiner and you hold a script and the handwriting you cannot even read from beginning to the end, what will you do? You will set it aside and take another one. At the end of the day, since you couldn't read, you score low mark or 0. That will not be your portion. Now, let us conclude our discussion. And I want you to listen carefully here. Every brilliant student loses marks due to poor answer presentation. But with proper understanding of question demands and good presentation skills, you can turn your knowledge into top grades. Master answer presentation techniques now and walk into every exam hall with confidence. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.